I'm already getting a lot of input, exposing myself to English every day, but I'm still stagnating. So if you've been following me for a long time and you've watched a lot of my videos, you probably know that one advice that I keep giving you repeatedly is to expose yourself to English with different types of medium. So let's say you're already doing that, but you still feel like you're stagnating. So at this point, it's good to ask yourself a couple of questions. First, can you actually understand a diverse type of content in English? So if you're given content about, let's say, the latest developments of technology, or even reading an article about world news, would you be able to understand that? Can you watch a movie about, let's say, crime or law and order and being able to understand that without subtitles? So if you can watch any given video about any topic that you don't know anything about, but you're able to understand that for the most part, then you are at a very, very good level. So at this level, you want to actually pause. Why do you want to pause? You want to pause to really rethink about your goal. So am I learning English so that I can understand a variety of content like this passively? Or am I learning English because I actually need to use it in my daily life for work or for personal life? If your goal is to just be able to understand, to have a high level of comprehension in English so that you can learn about a lot of things in English, you can take different courses in English, and you can watch and read books without having to translate, then maybe you don't really need to move up to the next level. Of course, it's always nice to level up, but maybe at this point, it's not something that you want to prioritize. But if your goal is to actually to be able to speak English or to write English, so improving your productive skills. What is wrong with people on loud motorbikes? Seriously. But if your goal is to actually improve your speaking or your writing or your productive skills, then it's really time to level up. In this case, then getting input only will not be the best strategy. So before I continue to the video, I would like to let you know that my premium coaching program, English Sprint Academy, is open and we are taking students on a rolling basis. So if you are a professional or an expat living abroad who urgently need to use English in your day-to-day for personal life, for your academic life, or for your professional life, you would be a great fit. Please read more about the program in this link here. And then if you think you are a great fit and you really urgently need help from me, click the apply button and we will review your application. And if you are a good fit, you will be called to have an assessment call with me and my team. And if you're a great fit, then you will be accepted into the program and it goes for a whole year. And yeah, I cannot wait to help you guys who are interested. And let's go back to the video. So let's talk about some things that you can do if you actually want to improve. So generally, you want to double down on speaking. First thing that you want to do is to know the difference between passive and active vocabulary. So if you're at this level where you have a high level of comprehension and you can understand different variety of content in different topics, then most likely you have a pretty wide range of vocabulary. However, it's important to know that you have a wide variety of passive vocabulary, but not active vocabulary. So what's the difference between that? So passive vocabulary is basically words or phrases that you understand when it's being given to you, when you read or when you listen, but you won't be able to produce it yourself. You won't be able to use these words or phrases correctly by yourself yet. Whereas active vocabulary is mostly the words and phrases that you can use actively in your day-to-day when you're speaking English. So I've talked extensively about this topic in this video right here, so you can check that out if you want to know more. But at this stage, what you want to do is that you don't want to learn more words in English to increase your passive vocabulary. What you want to do now is to increase your active vocabulary, and you do this by starting to use all of these new vocabulary that you already understand and start practicing it in your day-to-day. And how do you do that? This leads me to point number 2, and that is make your personal phrase book. So you want to make a list of phrases or words that you want to start using. So when you're making this list, you don't necessarily have to write down words or phrases that you just learned. Like you don't want to collect always new phrases and new words, but you want to put in this phrase book a collection of words or phrases that you already know but you want to start using. I want to start saying that. Oh, that's a very cool way of expressing my feelings. I'm going to start using that. So you want to write that down in your phrase book. And then this leads me to tip number 3, which is to record yourself speaking English. So now is the fun part. Now is the actual productive part where you can practice your speaking. So you don't have to always wait to have someone, a conversational partner to speak with. You can simply speak to yourself, or you can start speaking to the camera like this or with your phone, like pretend that you're vlogging or you're just, making a video on Reel, but do it in English. So remember, you have this collection of phrase book that you want to start using. Now it's time for you to put it to practice by speaking to yourself in the camera like this. At first, it's going to feel very uncomfortable speaking to yourself in the camera, but that's the point. You want to push through that discomfort so that you can slowly start to feel confident speaking to yourself in the camera. This way, it also builds your confidence, which can prepare yourself speaking English once you're actually out there in the real world speaking English with real people. Now, once you've maxed yourself out, once you've gone into the habit of speaking to yourself and you've gone quite comfortable, it is time to step up and get yourself out in the real world and start speaking with real people. So how do you do that? Well, this is half the effort. You have to actually find a place online or in your real life where you can actually talk to people in English. So if you live in a big city where there's a lot of tourists or foreigners and there's a lot of meetups, push yourself out of the comfort zone and start going to these events. This is going to push you to start speaking. But if this is a bit too much, then you can actually find a lot of communities online. There are like VR chats, there's Discord. Discord is an excellent way for you to start talking to strangers in English. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Discord groups for different types of interests. If you're into gaming, there are plenty of that on Discord. If you're into languages, if you're into cats, I'm pretty sure there's also a lot of that online. Even in our Nilingua community, we have a Discord group where all of our members could join practice night every day from Monday to Friday with one of our mentors, and then start speaking in English in a safe space where there's no judgment and you can just practice whatever you want. So finding a place where you meet people is not always easy, but it's really worth the effort. So once you've already found a place or a community where you can speak English with people, you've basically done half of the work. So good job. So if you haven't already, definitely do some research. Actually put into practice the advice that I gave you just now. Go online, find a community, and start speaking. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new, and I hope you guys got that jolt of motivation for you to start taking actions. And good luck. I will see you next week in another video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.